We tell ourselves that we're lazy. We tell ourselves that we're failing. But what if the real reason your home still feels cluttered has nothing to do with effort? Today I'm sharing 8 surprising reasons clutter keeps creeping back and what you can do to stop it for good. Because like Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. If we haven't met yet, my name is Bren and I love to talk about how we can let things go that aren't important to us so that we can make room for things that are. We keep bringing things in. That was one of the absolute main reasons why I had so much clutter in my home. And in fact, I did an entire video on that, which I'll link below in my description. I would shop, declutter, and repeat. I was selling stuff on eBay, and while I was waiting for an auction to end, I would just float on over to something that I thought of that I might be interested in. Well, before you know it, I was buying it and getting a package delivered. I thought I was doing a good job getting deals. If you find yourself on the same rotation as me, if this sounds familiar to you, this is what I suggest. Stop all purchases, stop accepting anything for free, and give yourself a good amount of time to declutter. And as you're decluttering, make sure that you have a running list of items that you come across that maybe need to be replaced. And that way, when you do shop or somebody wants to give you something for free, you'll know whether you need it or not. We think that we should be further along than we are. My very first encounter with minimalism was Joshua Becker and the Minimalist. And at that point, in that stage that they were in, they didn't have any kids. I had a family of 6. My life looked entirely different. I would oftentimes compare myself to them, which was absolutely unrealistic, right? And I think that that can actually really hang us up because we're not going to be as far along as somebody that has been doing it for a long time or someone who is living a different lifestyle. So here's my thing. I like to say that I'm my own minimalist. I feel that we should have the things that we use, love, and enjoy in our homes, and that is absolutely going to look different for everyone. We're all having different journeys. Some of us have kids that we have to take care of, or some of us have jobs that we have to do. So we're not always going to be on this upward trajectory of decluttering. Those little increments, like those little 1% that you can do on a day in and day out basis, you might not notice it on day 1, day 2, or day 3. But when it gets to be about 60 days of doing this every single day, just 10 or 12 items a day, that's where the real progress is going to be seen. So make sure that you don't give up, you stick with it, and you just give yourself a little bit of kindness during the process. I know this is a really hard one for some people. We are afraid to make a mistake. And I will tell you, you probably will make a mistake. I've made a couple mistakes, but when I think back on it, all of the things that I've decluttered, just a handful of mistakes are absolutely worth it for me. I really want to encourage you to think about this. Are you more valuable than your stuff? I think you are. I think that there is actually a cost to keeping all of the things that make you live in a home that doesn't have peace, that isn't calm. Because every single one of those items that you don't need, that you're not using, those are all kind of calling your name, basically. Clean me, manage me, take care of me. Those things all require something of you. And when you get rid of those things that you don't need, you're going to have space in your life for things that you do value. I've been there where I come across an item, and I'll use a handbag as an example. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the handbag. Should I get rid of it? It's such nice quality. I love it. I love the color. It's great. But am I using it? No, I'm not. But it's one of those items that would hang me up and it would literally stop me in my tracks. If this is you, here's what you do. You have a separate box as you're decluttering and you put those kind of items in it. And you take this box with you as you're decluttering your whole house or whatever area you're working in. And if you come across items like that, where they're going to require more thought and it's going to just stop you and stop your progress, I want you to put that kind of item in there. And the other things, just try to challenge yourself a little bit. Push yourself a little bit more. Really ask yourself those hard questions on decluttering, which I do have a video all donated to that. It's the 12 questions to ask yourself while you're decluttering. I'll also link that one in my description below. And if you just cannot come up with an answer, take that box when you're all done decluttering, put it in another closet, set an alarm on your phone or put a date on your calendar, and then refer back to that box later. This is a really good one, and I bet you some of you are going to relate. We think to ourselves, we're not going to do it right, so why bother doing it? Well, let me fill you in on a little secret. There's no right way to declutter and organize. Because you can declutter and organize a space and then discover it is just not working. That happens to me all the time. And then I have to go back in and tweak it. Decluttering is a journey. It's a process. And it's something that is not a one and done. You're not going to declutter and everything is going to stay that way, or it's all going to be perfect. Things change in your life. You have different times of your life where you're using certain things. Like for me, for instance, right now I have 3 sets of tennis shoes that I use for the different exercise activities that I have. But for you, it might be something entirely different. Things come in and out of your house naturally, and that means that you're always going to be decluttering. There's no right way to do it. If there's one thing that you remember from this video, it's this. Don't let perfect get in the way of progress. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be right for you. We compare ourselves to others. What do I mean by this? Well, we look on Pinterest or our family's homes or our friends' homes, basically everyone else. They have a spotless, decluttered home and ours isn't. We start to feel bad about ourselves, right? So here's what you need to do to stop comparing yourself to the wrong people. Exposing yourself to people that have had the same type of situation as yourself. And really gaining knowledge in this will actually shift your mindset. You'll stop feeling negative about yourself and comparing yourself to those perfect homes that you see on Pinterest. And you'll start to gain an understanding of why it is that you have the clutter. And just like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you can do better. Another reason why we still have clutter in our homes, we think something is wrong with us. Listen. Nobody is born knowing how to declutter. It is a learned skill like brushing your teeth or driving a car. I would encourage you to find the method or methods that work for you, because not every method is going to work for everyone. We learn by practicing. When we first start out driving a car, we don't know what we're doing. We're going to make a lot of mistakes, right? We're not going to know all the ins and outs, but as time goes by, we get better and better. We think it's all going to get messed up again, so why even bother? Here's the difference between cleaning and decluttering. I can clean up an area and I think to myself, I hope this lasts for 20 minutes with my family. You know what I'm talking about, right? But basically, decluttering is a whole nother story. When you get rid of all of the items that you don't need, basically you're able to clean off those surfaces. For instance, maybe it's your kitchen and you let go of a lot of things you didn't even need on your counter. When you get those out of your way, guess what? Your cleaning time is cut in half and you're able to just wipe off that counter. You're not having to move things around. That is way different. And that is just something to think about if you're confusing a little bit of cleaning versus decluttering. Actually, decluttering is going to make cleaning easier. The bulk of those items that get messy again are actually things that just need to get put in their homes, and they're part of the cleaning process. Decluttering the things that we don't need, well, that's where the real wins are, because then we don't have to move those items around so that we can clean better. We don't know where to begin. That is one of the reasons why we still have clutter in our home as well. And like Maya Angelou says, when we know better, we can do better. How I suggest you begin is you get a plan in place. You decide first and foremost why you want to declutter. What is basically your mission statement? You know how businesses have mission statements? Well, I think our home should have a mission statement too. We should know why we want to do this, because when we have a reason of why we want to do it, well, guess what? That is going to give us incentive and motivation. And every time we're looking at one of those items that we're second guessing, we're going to think to ourselves, wait a minute, this is what I want. This is why I'm doing this. So first and foremost, decide on a time that you can donate to decluttering where you don't have any obligations. Second, you have your supplies. You have some boxes or some baskets or even trash bags that you take around your home with you. And you just start with the easy stuff. Start with the trash. Start with things, I'm not saying your house has full of trash, but I'm saying, the little wrappers that the kids leave or that you've left yourself, a can of pop that is left on an end table. Those are the kinds of things that are very easy, right? We can declutter those fast. But the second thing I want you to do is decide on a space that you want to declutter. Kitchens, I think, are a great place to start because those are not sentimental items. Those are not ones that belong to our kids where it's a little bit more difficult. They are not clothes that we hope to fit into one day. That can be more difficult, right? These are things that are more utilitarian in nature, and that's just an easier place to start. Now, you can do this small. If you only have 5, 10, 15 minutes a day to do it, you can start with a drawer or a cabinet. Or if you want to go big, you can say, you know what, I'm taking an entire Saturday. I'm not going to have any obligations and I'm going to knock out my kitchen. Decluttering is a journey. Each time that you declutter, it's going to get easier and easier. And you're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, I remember I was on the fence about this. I kept it, but I never used it since the last time I decluttered 6 months ago. I'm okay to let that go. Don't forget to check out my description below where I put some of those videos that I mentioned. And also, if you're really on a decluttering journey and you need more inspiration and motivation, check out my channel page where I have a ton of videos that can help you. And some exciting channel news is I'm going to be posting bonus videos, a couple of them each month on Mondays, starting in mid-September. It's going to take us all the way through mid-January. And I'm so excited to share those videos because they're going to be geared toward getting us through the seasonal changes in the holidays so that we have the best fall and holiday season ever. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love it if you do. I post a new video every Thursday. And don't forget to check out one of these next videos that YouTube picked out just for you.